I don't know if you know this, but like, I had a whole bunch of crud and like one of this bullshit here, and I had like a freaking crap here. So I changed this so that it like is something cute to have.
Yeah, it's a good background.
Yeah, and then like I didn't like that thermostat is there, but then I realized, oh, like you're gonna sit right in front of that, so that's perfect.
We get cool out.
No, you're good. And then I got my cool little like Porsche prints up.
Did you wear the shirt to match it? You got a matching shirt for the Porsche pictures.
I don't know if I do.
Yeah, it's on. The color.
Oh fuck! Oh yeah, I am actually on the color. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we're already doing it. So have you bought any cars this week?
I haven't. This is probably, or no, I bought a Subaru from you. I bought a '01 Subaru Outback. This month and last month have probably been the roughest months we've had.
Well, you have like a health.
I still have that. My year's still here.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you what. So is it both years?
It's just this one now. But yeah, I woke up October 29th. We were going to Keon's girlfriend Hannah at a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Went over there. I had a bit of a hearing problem. Went away after I started drinking a bunch. Woke up the next morning, and I was like, I called the ear specialist and figured, it was gone. Maybe I had something going on. And the next thing you know, so what happened was I think I had an infection.
I literally forgot to hit record here, but that's okay.
Let's restart.
No, we just in general.
Yeah. So I woke up next day and seemed better, and then to me, I was thinking maybe I just need to like plug my nose and just blow really hard. And that's what blew my eardrums up.
Yeah,
so I'm a little bit stupid in that sense. But it's healing, it's good now. But that definitely slowed me down.
So it was like an ear infection?
Ear infection. When I went to the doctor, they put a camera in, they said I've got a hole in my eardrum. So I still wake up, maybe not until 10 in the morning every day. It's still a little bit plugged, but it's healing.
So is it, so like it's going to recover?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to need hearing.
Oh, okay. Well, like hearing damage is interesting to me because like, there's like the kind of damage where it's just like, they say when your ear is ringing, that's like your brain, like, that's like your eardrum pretty much being like, well, this is the last time you're going to hear this frequency.
Yeah.
Like, so like, that like long-term hearing damage, like eventually you don't hear very well. And then you can have like, you can lose your hearing completely and then it somehow comes back and that's like a different, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no.
What the fuck?
Well, it's weird because I do think if I didn't like fire up the air compressor at home, like even last week working on cars, I feel like loud noises still trigger that. That's maybe why in the morning I feel rougher. But I would say every morning until about 9:30 or 10, my hearing's muffled. And then it gets better, it clears up. So we'll see.
10.
I'm just happy I can hear it now. Sell some hours.
Oof. You literally have like, if you lost your hearing, you probably should go on that. Like,
come on, disability.
What the fuck can you do? You can't fucking buy and sell cars anymore.
Yeah,
that's like, and you can just sell cars.
I use Google Translate sometimes to sell cars.
I know. I'm just thinking like, I guess you just won't be able to take from us.
No, it would all be text.
Yeah.
Text, marketplace, sound via.
You know what? It might actually work for you really well because you can be like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't call you. I don't have any hearing.
Guilt trip them in.
Yeah, after that.
Buying a car.
Yeah. Or selling you a car.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, that was the only thing about it. It's mostly the, you don't realize how important it is until it's gone. Right? Like for me,
I feel like I realized it.
Maybe not for me, because like even just one side of my head, I was like, my equilibrium is fucked. Like, it wasn't necessarily the hearing, it was like the balance. You don't realize how much it plays into effect with your whole body.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that definitely put a stunt on November sales and part of December, but like you said, just buying with that problem, going to auction and dealing with people, it was sort of on.
No, dude, no, you absolutely need your ears to like listen to the car.
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially in lower price range stuff.
Oh, definite.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I went to auction last month. There's like a younger guy there. He's Russian, and he also buys thoughts, which are, you know, cheap cars. And every single one that I looked at, it's one of those things where almost every car at Anaheim was vandalized. Like all the cars that I were looking at, I would start them out, misfire.
Oh, like
math is unplugged, alternator is barely hanging on with the clip. You know, certain things like that where you know that a lot of these cars are just going cheap because they're all fucked with too. So it's always, especially in the pot market, it's such a gamble. Like it's really such a gamble. But that's I'm trying to stay around that $5,000 mark, $5,000 car.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Retail, when you sell like a $2,000 car, the people are really, really, I don't know how to say it clearly. Like they want everything for $2,000. You know, even a $5,000 car is not going to be perfect.
Oh, I understand. Like when you get the $2,000 buyer, they just want to they don't want to pay for DMV.
No, not that. Like the $5,000 buyer, normally it's like a dad or grandpa, you know, mom buying for their kid or spare vehicle. And with $5,000, they know that car is going to have cosmetic issues, might have a few little things here and there. Whereas like the $2,000 buyer, they want perfection.
Oh, so pretty much like the people that are buying $2,000 cars are just stupider.
Yeah. Yeah. And they try and beat you up for the most, you know, benign things. And
or maybe they're not stupid, or maybe they're pretending like they expect perfection, and that's like the game that they're playing to try and beat you up for another $300-$400.
It could be. I think some of it comes down to the people who can afford a $2,000 car, and that's probably all they've got.
Yes.
And they're trying to make that money act like it's $10,000 and get something so perfect, when in reality, it really doesn't exist. There are some deals out there for a $2,000 car where they're great, but it's just sort of like, even the Outback I bought from you, the 01 Subi, it's edgy. Like, it'll be an A to B for somebody, but that's the type of car where it's like, I'd rather not deal with selling that anymore.
Well, wait, this is the thing. I told you, like, to come and check it out, and then you came and looked at it, and then like you're like, yeah, it's not quite worth what like you think it'll bring at auction. I was like, okay, we'll leave it there then. And then you're like, well, no, I'm actually driving it home. I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I need cars, and my beggars can't be choosers, so it's like, all right, I'll take it. I need to make a little something. But it is like that clientele, even though the price points are so similar, a couple of grand apart.
Yeah,
it's a much tougher sell. It's just,
yeah. Well, no, I've heard that the same thing from other dealers. Like, it's like, oh, like the certain buyers in certain price ranges are actually, and you know, I actually think it's kind of like, I hear a lot of people say like, oh man, whenever I'm selling a $5,000-$6,000 car, like they always want to get it inspected. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that is annoying, but you know what? Like a $5,000 car is the car you want to inspect.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're buying a $15,000 or $20,000 car, there's like a really low probability that it has like some serious issue that everyone's missing. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like, if you're buying a $5,000 car, let's just say you've got $6,000 and you say, okay, I want to buy a car for $5,000. I'm going to use the other $1,000 for fixing whatever. Like, even if the car is great, and I tell people this all the time, like, even if the car is perfect, like, you want like someone that you trust to go through and be like, all right, so in 6 months, you're probably going to want to fix this. 10 a year, this might be an issue. It might never be an issue, but maybe, you know, you just like want to know what you're signing up for. Yeah. Especially like in that price range. Like, and if you're not mechanically savvy, like buying a $5,000 car or a $2,000 car is like big fucking dice roll.
It is. And pointing on that, it's about the inspection. Whenever I have like a Honda, Toyota, Japanese, almost always they want to go get it inspected. And the other one where it's like a German car, like a BMW 3 Series, C300, those ones are way more impulsive, where they just sort of send it. Like they because they're like, they want to look good. They want to be like, you know what, fuck it, it doesn't matter. I want a Mercedes for $5,000.
Yeah.
But that is one thing that I do find interesting, at least for me. I've never really had a car over maybe 15, 20 grand. I drove the Fisker for a little bit. But in my experience, just buying a car that's sort of like a beater, it saved me a lot of money. Just repairs are minimal. There's no car note, no payment on it. But to each their own, because part of that is I can fix it myself. So we can't.
Oh no, I think we've talked about this before, but like I kind of like you do this for long enough, and you kind of start to not give a shit about what car you drive. It's like the same thing, like with like what they say, like mechanics' cars are always like the most fucked up cars, you know, right? But it's like I realized like 5-10 years ago that I don't really necessarily want like a fancy car to drive. Like I really like my little BMW i3. Fucking love that car. It does all the things I want it to. Well, not all of them, but like most of them, you know. But like I'm also perfectly content. Like if a '98 Honda Civic showed up with 200,000 miles on it, and it was just really, really clean, and everything worked the way it was supposed to, and it just drove the way it was supposed to. It was like a nice, clean, maintained car, but it was just like crank winch. Okay, maybe I would be annoyed if it was crank windows, no power locks, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if I just have like a basic car that's clean and drives nice, and by driving nice, I mean just because the Honda Civic, a '98 Honda Civic when it was brand new, drove actually pretty nice.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it actually has a good feel to it. Like, I'd be fine with that. I would just fucking drive that thing. I don't care. I guess if I'm getting on the road and I'm going to drive to California, I'd
probably want something comfortable.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, okay, like, do I have an S-Class Benz in stock? You know, because that's the fucking car you want to take on a long
trip. Definitely.
But like, yeah, for like regular driving around, that kind of past the point.
Well, I think, you know, especially with that, when you deal with so many cars, they lose their touch. Like for a while, I imagine when you started, it was fun to drive. Like an S-Class or take stuff in that's new and figure it out.
Well, everything's exciting at first.
Exactly.
And I think that like translates to every other part of life. Like,
oh, for sure.
We get a new whatever, new clothes, new computer, new whatever the fuck. Like when you first get it, it's exciting. And then after a while, you're like, oh, okay, this is just what I have. This is the status quo. So like, yeah, if buying and selling, driving all these cars has taught us anything, it's just like, yeah, you can get used to fucking anything.
Exactly.
So like, and actually, it kind of takes the fun out of it.
It does, and that's one of the things, like, you have, I imagine you still have your E30, the red
Yes, it's a Brandon's house.
Yeah, okay.
And just had it, he's pretty much storing it for free because he says he's going to work on it, then he never works on it. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't even care if you don't work on it, because, like, it's in your safe garage, it's warm and dry.
Yeah.
And, like, he, like, even tells me that, it's like, oh, yeah, I store it, like, once a week. I'm just like...
What does it mean?
It's not like a fuel leak.
Oh, okay.
And then like it needs the rear subframe drop to redo the bushings and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like there's a bunch of little things that could be done with it. And I've been like, hey man, go ahead and do it whenever you can, and like I'll pay you to do it, because like he likes working on those cars, and then he just never gets around to it. And I frankly don't give a shit, because I know it's being stored, like he's storing it better than I would.
Sure.
Because he's such a nice, conscientious guy. And I've literally approached him. I've been like, hey, like, do you want my car out of your garage? Like, do you know, because it's really, really nice of him. You know what I'm saying? No,
sure.
And I told him, like, hey, when you finally get done with it, I'm going to, like, give you extra money because you've been storing it, like, for free for me.
Well, you've got a few, because you've got your Shark Nose, the other red at Antonio's.
Oh,
it's been there for, like, 5 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you still have the Dobson, which is...
No, the Datsun I have, and it's still garage at home, and that's my favorite one.
That's the thing. These, what I've noticed especially is, after driving all of these cars, whether they're 10 years old or 20 years old, the most fun I get is something like that.
For fun.
A sports car from the 80s. I mean, you can't really beat it. There's some fun.
It's not fun in Datsun. I drove it, I want to say, like a couple months ago. And it's such a fucking ride drive, and I can't help but drive it like a fucking teenager. Because like, yeah, it's absolutely, like, I feel like even if a cop sees me driving it like a teenager, they're going to be like, oh, that's pretty cute. Looks like he's having a good time. Like, I feel like it's such a charming car that they let me go. Also, like, even when I'm absolutely hauling ass I'm going like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Because it's like this tiny little fucking thing.
Well, that's what makes them fun.
Yeah.
And they're so raw about driving them. It's just, and everything older like that is more enjoyable.
And then, well, the other thing to it is like after driving it for literally half a day, I'm like, all right, get me the fuck out of this thing.
Is it loud? I mean, it's just like the wind noise and everything.
Well, I'm getting old enough now that I don't think that I'm invincible. So I'm like worried that I'm going to fucking die. Yeah. Like if someone hits me, I'm absolutely like, especially some big fucking shitbox SUV or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm fucking dead. So like I have to drive it more defensively now. So like that's fatiguing. Just being like, oh, I gotta be on alert and make sure that like some fucking guy doesn't like blow through a stop sign and kill me, you know?
Yeah.
Especially because it's a little car. Luckily it's like loud and kind of has, not loud, but reasonably loud and like is bright colored. It's got those blue stripes on it.
It looks sweet.
But so yeah, there's that component of it. And then yeah, like I'm always on my fucking phone. So like, you know, one of my guys calls me and you know, I'm trying to talk to them about whatever it is, and I'm in this fucking rattle box, like, and it's got creak windows. So like, and like, when you're driving that car, you roll the windows down.
Sure.
So like, I'm like, oh fuck, I got a phone call. Like, and look at the car is small, you know, so I can just like, I can literally just go like this,
yeah,
reach across and roll it, and then I roll the other one up, and then I put the phone on my lap and I put it on speaker. I think I actually put a Bluetooth deck in it now, and I think it does okay quality. But yeah, well, you know what I want to do? I've been thinking about it that like maybe one day is I want to convert it to fuel injection.
Okay.
It's like, it's got the cool double side draft carbs on it that like all the cool guys that like work on these things put on it. But it would like, I would be the whatchamacallit, the lefty liberal earth loving like fruitcake side of me wants to just like put a cat on it because like really you don't lose like any performance, especially with like modern high flow cats with like sensors and stuff. Put a fuel injection system on it. First off, I'll probably gain like 10 or 15 horsepower just from like having the fuel totally dialed in. Second off, the car won't fucking stink. That's the other part of it. And when I drive for a day, all that uncatted fuel, all that uncatted exhaust, like it just sticks to you.
It does, and it probably gives you a headache.
Kind of, yeah. Like if it sucks to drive it in traffic.
Yeah.
Because like it's just kind of around you the whole time. And I could put a cat on it, but the thing like is whoever tuned the carbs on it, like Chef's Kiss, like amazing job. It just runs out fucking awesome throttle response. Everything's just like perfect. Like
I don't want to touch it.
I don't want to touch the carbs because they are like just I don't know anything about it. I know I'll fuck them up and I'm gonna have to find some old timer that like knows how to get them in sync and get them running right and all that shit. So if I put a cat in it, it's definitely running rich enough that the cat would just get wasted. Like maybe it'll last. I mean, I drive it so little, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know, but like my understanding is that if you dump a bunch of, you know, unburnt fuel in a cat,
it'll burn it out.
It'll burn out the cat like within a reasonable amount of time. But maybe I should just do it, and then I'll drive it more.
Yeah,
because anyways.
Well, I mean that's it though. It's just sort of that hobby of having older cars. Like I think that's more enjoyable at the end than driving something new. I think it's like what you said, you can drive a 90s Honda Civic, and if you have something fun to take out every now and then. Now, it sort of gets that itch.
Well, that's where Ryan's got a good setup going, because he's got his Evo that he always does 10 outside.
Yeah.
And he just drives on the weekends. During the work week, when he's working, he just drives whatever.
Oh, just takes the car here that needs to be driven.
Yeah, exactly, because like all these cars are parked. It's not good for them to sit, you know, and sometimes, you know, something will pop up on them from sitting. Yeah. So at least he can catch stuff, at least, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like he'll grab whatever's around, drive that home and back, you know, put 4 or 5 miles on it, make sure the battery's full, the tires aren't low, you know.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends he takes his Evo, which is like, that's exactly the way that you own a fun car. Because like when you get in it, when he gets in it on his weekend, he's like, it's the fucking weekend. I need my fun car. Like, I'm going to go do whatever fun shit I have planned. Like, that's... And the other thing about it is, like, he can't drive... Well, I guess he could... If he really wanted to, he could drive one of our cars on his days off. I wouldn't really care. The only thing is like, if I get a call on it, I'm going to be like, hey, bring that car back here, which he doesn't want to do on his day off.
Oh, sure.
So like, that's like pretty much the reason he does it. But so like, if on my days off, I don't have the discipline to be like, all right, fire up the Datsun, like, let's go to move the shit out of the garage. It's like boxed it in right now. And like, do like, he like has to drive his fun car once a week, pretty much. So that's like kind of ideal.
It is, yeah, and the thrill is still in it for him, and that's part of it too. I had an Evo 9, and when you do drive those every day, they break a lot more frequently. I don't know about the 10s; they're completely different.
Well, dude, yours was tuned to fucking okay.
It was, but even before that, I feel like that platform, like the DSM, the old Eagle Talons, most of the Eclipses. That Ford G63, it's a great platform, but I do think everything around it does break frequently, and
I think his car's pretty dependable.
I think the Evo 10s have a really good reputation.
I mean, it's the same, isn't it the same engine?
Just like, no, they went to like a Ford V11, so it's like completely redesigned.
Oh.
And there's still a lot of companies producing stuff for it where they're trying to take it to the next step. I know English Racing, I think, is in like the 8.25 mile on it. So they're like doing better than they did with the so it is pretty cool, but yeah, I do know they can end up costing a lot of money.
Okay, so I'll tell this. I mean, so whenever I'm talking to someone about like really fucking insane cars, I usually tell them about your car. If like people start talking about Evos or Rexes or whatever, and we're just like shooting shit and saying like, oh, what's the fastest car you've ever driven or whatever, I always bring up your car. It's probably not like the fastest flat out. Sure, like it's the most thrilling car I've ever driven.
Oh, it's
I drove it once.
It's like a roller coaster. When I would take that car to the gym in the mornings, I would always let it idle for 10 minutes, and that was the only car, I guess, besides the V8 E30 that I've got. That was the only car that I would start up and start shaking it. And realistically, like
shaking it,
like fucking scared. Like I would idle in that car and be like, "Today's the day, right?" you don't know, and now being the age that I am, like what you said, I don't think I could own something like that.
No, well, that's the thing. I only drove it once, and it was back when I had my shop over by the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
and you like pulled up one day, and it's like you just got it back from getting something fixed or whatever, and you offered me to take it down the street or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool." I remember I pulled out of the driveway onto Rocky Road, and that thing read to like 9,000 RPMs or 8,000 RPMs, something insane, right?
Yeah.
And you had it on E85?
It was on E85, and I think it was on like maybe 38 or 40 pounds.
Jeez, and the turbo was like the size of my fuck.
It was.
And I remember I had like no idea what I had signed up for when I was driving. And I was just like, oh, okay, you do fast cars, driven lots of fast cars. And like I fucking got out at like, I think right around like 5,000 RPMs. It was like someone grabbed me by the shoulders and shoved me into the fire. And I was just like, holy fuck. So like I like got up to first and I was just like, whoa, holy shit. I put it in the second. I don't even know how fast I was.
I mean, I think the way that car was geared, first gear I would get to about 55 if you took it to red line. But I mean, that's all you really need. Just for the
honestly, I don't even know if I got it on the second.
Well, that's the
second year. I think I probably only did first and like just like that. And I remember like there's like one spot where there's like a kind of like a turnoff.
Yeah.
And like so I kind of like cut into the turnoff and then I'll like I'll cut the wheel all the way back and then like kind of do a little U-turn right there and just scoot it back. If I'm ever doing like a real quick little road test, that's what I used to do there. And yeah, I don't know if I actually got into boost in second gear.
Well, so that's the thing. It was boost 5 gear. So the boost goes on.
Oh, yes.
First gear you get into. So like third gear was money. Like if you wanted to melt your face, third gear was wild. But yeah, I got in a lot of trouble with that car. And
you didn't go to jail though.
Didn't go to jail, which was surprising.
Yeah, that's the kind of car like then gets you put in.
And a lot of people said that it wouldn't be like responsible for a younger person to have that. And I can I could definitely see where that's coming from.
What were you when you had 21? Yeah, most 20-year-olds would have been dead. Yeah, you're like an above average in terms of maturity. Well, 21-year-old.
I think a lot of people, they were just like, get that thing and just fucking gun it everywhere. And like, even I would drive it. I think the first thing that made me realize that was like second gear braking all 4 tires on pavement when it's dry out. And it just sort of like makes everything click a little bit differently because I was actually scared of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I was like, that's the thing. I remember that's like, I think I've had, oh, it's all good. I think I've maybe had a handful of experiences where I get out of the car and I'm like, you know, like pumped up from it. And I remember I like got out of your car and I was like all like adrenaline down.
Yeah, you get like flammy, your hands are white.
And like, it was like that. I probably was like that for like the next half hour, an hour, just from driving that car down the block.
Well, that's part of it. Like when that car was at like 350 or 400, I actually did more stupid shit in that car than afterwards because like I can floor it on a corner. Like I can take the little bend going, you know, in second gear, full open throttle. But
no, because it has no like nannies built into it.
Yeah, no ADS, nothing like that.
Yeah, like the Porsche 996 that Oki drives now that I went back when I was sailing with you. The purple, yeah, the purple one, not purple. It was like a eggplant color.
Does he not like when you call it purple?
No, he doesn't mind it. But I'm just thinking like, for anyone listening to this, I wasn't like such an asshole that I would drive like a fucking like, you know, it wasn't like a fucking violet Porsche. It was like a very like dark, subdued.
No, it was a fitting color.
Yeah. I just don't want people to think I'm an asshole. Not that anyone's watching this. What was I going to say? That car, it was the all-wheel drive one. It was a Carrera 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like an insanely well-tuned traction control system. I was really impressed for it being, I think it was a 99 or a 2000. The traction control system, like I feel like a lot of traction control systems in cars, especially older ones, cars that old, they pretty much are on or off. Like once you start having too much fun, the brakes bite the wheels and like they just put a stop to it. Like you're done, you're having too much fun, no more for you. Yeah. Whereas like that car was like, would give you the confidence to fuck around. Like, so like there was like a couple turns where I would get into them at like second gear and I'd hit them enough times that I eventually realized like, oh, I can literally hit this. Like I can get into this once I'm in the turn in second gear, I can floor it and the traction control and the all-wheel drive system would just sort itself out and get me out of the corner.
Yeah.
And, so that's the kind of car that will fucking gives you a false sense of security. Oh, that's a dangerous behavior that like on the, you know, if there's a chunk of, maybe there's a slippery spot on the street one day or some asshole's doing something that I'm not expecting and I have to react to it. And then that's when fucking disaster strikes.
Oh, sure. And that could be part, I mean, I know the old 911s, pretty much all the two-wheel drive ones, they were called the Widowmaker because they were just
that's the old air-cooled turbo ones because the boost kicked in like on your fucking Evo.
Oh, really? So it would just pop in on a corner and you're...
Yes, exactly. Like pretty much, yeah, you'd be in a turn, all of a sudden you hit boost and it just sends you out of control. I've never driven one. That's just what I read.
Yeah, because I've never really been familiar with Porsches.
Yeah.
And I didn't know because the all-wheel drive system might actually benefit a lot of drivers to feeling more comfortable driving one. Because I do feel like the, you know, mid-engine, rear-engine Porsche and the design, it probably is pretty easy to lose track of when it's not all-wheel.
So all the Carrera 2s I've driven, the two-wheel rear wheel, there's the engines all on top of the fucking rear wheel.
So really, you don't really.
Honestly, I don't like. From what I understand, like the Carrera 4 is just like 20% more user friendly.
Okay,
is my understanding. Like from like all the things I've read is that like the 4-wheel drive Carreras or 911s or whatever you want to call them, in the hands of someone that's less capable, you can go faster. Whereas like professional drivers can get around a track faster
in the rear wheel,
or at least that was the way that it was framed like 10, 15 years ago. The modern all-wheel drive ones probably are.
Well, that's I
feel so much more insane, you know.
Yeah.
And so like I'd imagine like, you know, if you have are the new M5s all-wheel drive? Probably.
I think all the new AMGs, the M series,
they only take so much power. The only way you have it into the ground is with all-wheel drive. Yeah.
And I've even heard that the character on newer M cars are pretty gone. At least from what I've heard. We've got a buddy down the street, and it was a guy who actually sold me the 30 I've got. And he told me he had an E90 M3, and I think he traded it in for like the F10 or the F20, you know, the newer, like the 18 and up M3.
I think that's a G. Yeah, it's a G30 or G31 or something.
He told me it was like, it's like, I love it. You put a downpipe and a tune on it, and it blows your face off, but I want to sell it and get back into an E90. Just because it's sort of probably like the Evo where you just floor and you're like, this is cool. And that's
what the M5 is that I have right now.
Yeah. There's like no other character to it after a while you get bored of it.
Well, it's an insanely nice car. And I actually think it has a nice characteristic, like the way that it feels and communicates and all that stuff. I feel like I'm still driving a BMW, but it's one of those cars where, yeah, you can't really fuck around with it.
Well, what year is it?
13 or 14?
Yeah.
It's the F10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it fucking hauls ass, but it's a similar thing where it's just like, okay, like you cannot explore the limits of this car on the road. You just can't, unless you don't give a shit about people and you don't give a shit about like going to jail.
And yourself, yeah.
Yeah. So like it's one of, I think like out where Dad lives, where you and Dad live, like that's actually like, that's the thing. Like I had a lot of fun in the Porsche on all those back roads because I wasn't really worried about killing anybody. There's fucking no one else on the road. And there's never cops back there. So you could just feel like, oh, that's sweet. Like, it's a fucking Sunday at 2 p.m. Like, the car hasn't driven by in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, when I leave the house, I'm going to fucking see how fast I can go.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Even the cops, even if they see you, they just sort of wave their finger at you. They're pretty lenient on it. But yeah, it is compared to like the E34, M5, E39, M5, E36, M3. It's not like that experience on what it used to be. And I feel like people are mostly buying the brand.
The prestige and all that stuff.
Yeah, because it is like the highest loaded M5 or M3. But I do feel like that sort of car ownership has changed a lot, where more enthusiasts are buying older cars than newer ones. I mean, I don't know if you watch a lot of like YouTube or Reels. There are a few actually really big YouTubers in the car industry. And at least when I watched that, like there's the JNS Auto House in New Jersey. It's like 2 Persian dudes.
So fun.
And they own a Mitsubishi dealer, but like all they
sell are inside.
Yeah. And that's all they do. And it's like the people go in there and they're like, man, I've got 20K down, get me into something, you know, badass, and their payments are like $3,000 a month. They'll be upside down in their other car. And it's like, they just don't really care. They just sort of want to say they drive an M5 or an M3 or a GT63, whatever it is. So
yeah, that's crazy. Like, yeah,
like the payments that people deal with, or
the fucking payments. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a payment roll out this place more than $700 or $800.
Yeah,
like max.
Well, you can go buy probably a new Tacoma for $800 a month, $700 a month for a new car. But I think when you get that $2-3 a month mark, that's like a $200,000 car you finance.
I don't care. Mike is calling me on a car. All right, we'll just let it roll. Hey. Yeah, he called me on a Mini Cooper like 2-3 weeks ago. And I normally don't fuck with those at all because they burned me a handful of times. And then on top of that, like, I've kind of realized, like, oh, you know what? I kind of don't even want to sell them to people.
Yeah.
Because, like, generally speaking, their ownership experience is usually not going to be great.
Oh, definitely.
Like usually, like I feel like maybe like not usually, but maybe the likelihood of them not having a good ownership experience is high.
Well, they have
Everything else we sell.
the really bad engines from like 08 to 12 and 14.
This one's I think like an 05 or 06.
Some
perhaps.
Yeah.
So
Supercharged.
it's a supercharged engine that doesn't like lunge itself for no reason. They updated the transmission on these later, well, not late, but like compared to like the later models for this generation, the transmission problems are sorted out. So like, and like, I know that there's a subset of people that like want that specific car.
Is it a manual?
I think it's an automatic.
Okay.
But I don't think that, I mean, I think it still works.
Yeah. It's probably got good miles.
No, that's the thing. It had like, I think it has like 70K or something like that on it. So like, it's sort of,
it's probably worth 6 or 7 retail, maybe.
I think actually, so I went and looked before I gave him a bid on it, and and it looked like I could advertise it for 8 or 9 and be in the ballpark.
So maybe the earlier ones are worth more.
I think so, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, once they switched over to that turbo motor, they were just fucking off. I mean, they weren't even good cars before then, but then they really went to shit.
Yeah. Because I called you on the Mini that I had, I think it was an 09 or 2010 with like 65,000 miles on it. That was a pain. Just to work on. I mean, putting it in service mode, the whole the front clip had to come off.
Yeah.
And parts are not cheap.
No, it's a BMW, but like it's a BMW. I am like highly suspicious that like BMW just has like their interns and like entry-level engineers like develop an Mini Cooper, because like the difference is fucking night and day. And you have like, or like what it's like to work on, what it's like, you know, the reliability. I mean, it drives great, you know, and the ergonomics and whatnot are fine, but like, yeah, I don't know if they have like their junior engineering team like designing their engines or what.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it just seems like they have not been able to get it right since 2007 or 8.
I think the old ones are pretty cool, like the old 80s, you know, like those Minis are
well, that's not even a BMW. That's a British car.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to touch another Mini Cooper. I know the one that we got from him, we did sell it, and I mean, we made a good amount of money, but just for like doing the oil filter housing, water pump, couple other things, it took me like 20 hours. Like,
yeah, that sounds about right. Well, and the only reason I'm looking at this car was because it's been promised to me as being like pretty wrapper perfect, like perfectly maintained. That's just
put it up for sale.
I mean, if I have to do brakes or put tires on it, okay, fine. You know, like, but if there's anything like that's like, if the clutch is feeling a little bit weak, or if it's got a seep or a leak, not a seep I could probably live with, but like pretty much anything that like anything funky, I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Especially because our shop is just absolutely fucking buried. Part of the reason I was down to record this today was because I started going to DAA on Thursdays.
Okay.
But the shop is just so buried in cars. It doesn't make sense for me to buy anything.
Have you got luck at DAA? That's mad now, right?
The same thing, yeah. So the dealer, I think DAA just stands for Dealers Auto Auction.
Yeah.
Which is a really weak fucking name, I gotta say. I've like kind of been thinking that for a long time in terms of like the most generic thing possible. It's a real crappy name.
Well, I signed up with them. I've never been there. I just
the facility's pretty nice. I will say, like, they, by a very large margin, I'd say, have the best test track and auction I've ever been to.
In terms of one, like just
it's long. It's pulling on a lot of bumps in the road. You can literally get it up to highway speed.
Oh, all right.
And like have like a few seconds of going 55 before having, or maybe it's a more of like, I don't know. I feel like I can get it up to highway speed and actually feel like what it would be like, and it's fresh pavement. So like you can actually just hear the car, you know, and then it's got a big turnaround where it's easy to do. You can turn and then you can shoot back.
All right.
And so I will say, and it's right on the front of the river.
Yeah. And how long has DAA been around? Because I feel like I've never been there.
So apparently they've been in like Spokane and I think maybe, I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass here, but they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think they have another auction in Idaho.
Oh, no. I'm talking more about like the Portland location. Is that like newer? Because I know Mag now is like online only.
Online only, yeah. So the DAA Portland, I don't even think they've been open for a year.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so, and then I will also say, like, I think their sales team is getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
When I first started going, if I had an offer on a car, pretty much the sales guy would just like be like, well, the seller wants this. And I'd be like, how's about this? They'd be like, no, this is what the seller wants. I'm like, I thought this was the fucking car business. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Now they actually seem to try and like, and I think, now that I think about it, it was a Mag Now car that a guy really worked a deal for me. And I was like, okay, this guy's a gangster. And he told me he was new.
Oh, okay.
So somebody called, like, I think I saved his name in my phone. He's like, this sales guy kicks ass. But he like really properly worked a deal on the Subaru Ascent that I haven't gotten. By the way, this is my first Subaru Ascent and seemed like a really nice car.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how good of a car they are.
That's like is that an H6 or is that?
No, they don't do the H6 anymore. Well, they do it. I don't think they put them in the Ascent. What they did is they put the turbo motor out of the WRX.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure the tune on it is different. And it's got a CVT in it. So, and a big car. So, like, that's kind of a recipe for like turbo plus CVT plus big car equals brakes, you know. But this one had 90K on it, and it was well taken care of. But it drives out awesome. The transmission doesn't feel weird. The engine feels healthy.
Subaru CVTs aren't that bad.
The early ones were crap.
The early ones, but compared to, I mean, Nissan, they've been doing CVTs for
And they're all garbage.
20 years, and they still can't make a good CVT.
No, and then Toyota's been doing it on like small cars. See, I think,
and hybrids too, right?
Yeah, pretty much all their hybrids were CVT, but like Toyota only puts CVTs in small cars. Yeah. Because the way that they're engineered, they're like, you can't really, at least from what I understand, is like, it's like CVTs are not good at carrying heavy loads.
Oh, okay.
So like when they put a CVT in their Nissan Pathfinder, which is like a fucking whale of a car, and they all launch their transmissions at like 50, 60,000 miles, I'm not the least bit surprised that is a problem.
Oh, sure.
So when Subaru does the same thing, I'm like, but it seems like something.
I guess that's newer, so only time will really tell.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen them with bad transmissions at auction, but like you see everything with bad transmissions.
Oh, sure.
So
it all comes down to how the car was maintained before.
I think so.
Even I know BMW did it. Maybe a couple Japanese companies where it's like lifetime fluid.
Yes,
and that's just like the biggest bullshit. Yeah, I think has ever come out where people.
I think they all kind of stopped doing that.
They did, yeah,
because like it was probably like making their customers mad. I'd imagine.
Definitely.
Like, and also the other thing is like if I owned a new car store and I had a service department, and I gave a shit about my customers, I would tell all my service advisors, hey, sell all of our customers that have CVT transmission cars, transmission services at 50K. I would say push that, because that, like, not doing so is honestly kind of a shitty thing to do. Like,
yeah,
one, we can make money off of it. Two, it will keep their car from breaking. I guess if their car doesn't break, they might not buy another car soon, but like, I mean, if our car breaks because we put lifetime fluid in it and then it launches a transmission at 90,000 miles, like, are they going to buy another car no, they're going to switch to Toyota or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, that is fucking goofy. So I imagine that OEMs talking, like if I own a new car franchise, I would say this to the OEM, like, what the fuck? Like, put this in, like, hey, this is what I'm telling my customers regardless of your stupid lifetime fluid, because I give a shit about them. And maybe, you know, they think,
well, maybe part of that too, maybe they're trying to make it. I know car ownership is sort of going in a different route where, like, maybe new cars, I mean, you can tell me what you think about it, where they're not really engineered to last.
I think that's just
I think it's bullshit, or
I think that's fucking bullshit. I think that's just like what old guys like to say because like the car is more complicated than the car that they grew up working on.
Yeah.
And yes, there is like a bunch of like cost cutting things that they've done, like turning some parts into plastic and doing this and doing that. But like as a whole, cars, like your average car will get to 200,000 miles now. That was just 100% not the case. And like, yeah, there's some chintzy stuff that they do to try and save money, but like,
I think that's probably, I think it's less user friendly to own a new car if you're maintaining it yourself. Like we bought cars that are like an O2 Kia Sorento or whatever.
yeah.
And the person who buys that, they can maintain it completely all by their own. And a lot of newer cars maybe have too many programmings to actually, go through everything.
I mean, like, outside of like resetting the maintenance reminder on a BMW or an Audi or whatever, I don't really think that like there's anything like, they're not putting like security screws on like the drain bolt. Oh no, I know. You can change your own oil. You can do your own brake pads, I think, within reason.
Sure.
I feel like you can do a lot of stuff, but like as soon as you get into something kind of intense, like pretty much what we have, I don't know, Porsche Cayenne I had, for example, like the coolant bypass, the this, the that, like, I guess like you could hate your life and somehow do that in your garage. Like, yeah, doing that jump at home DIY would fucking absolutely suck one. Like we like reseal the Porsche Cayenne engine and like we have our lift table. So like big ass hydraulic table, like almost as big as this tabletop.
Yeah.
Underneath the car, drop the whole engine and transmission, leave the car up in the air, work on the engine freely, unencumbered, and then boop, 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 like hydraulically lift it back under the car. Everything is literally the table set up so like when you drop it, everything stays exactly where it was. It's got all these little tie downs and hooks and whatnot, so like nothing fucking shifts. You literally just put it all back together, everything went exactly where it was.
I imagine in that sense it's more simple being able to, just drop everything out, have it right there.
But anyways, like you can't, unless like you have infinite money, like no one's doing that in their home.
Oh, exactly.
So like that's the kind of thing where it would just feel like, yeah, I would rather, I don't know, I'd rather do something that really fucking sucks than like try to fix that in my garage. I don't know, it's something that fucking sucks.
No, and I think maybe that is the case for people. It is harder to work on a car that's newer because you don't have access to maybe all this stuff that you could. Whereas older stuff, I mean, it's pretty like, it seems a lot more simple, at least for
this. No,
even with like, because I still have a Chevy Aveo that I've had for I think 2 years, so I can't sell it. And
I didn't realize that
I still have that. And
that's kind of not surprising.
Well, I feel like it was sort of that gray area where like Chevy really never made a good product.
They suck at making small cars.
Yeah, and
for the most part.
But it was like that weird period where they were switching to a CAN bus system.
Oh.
And that Aveo has a CAN bus system in it. And to me, that's like, what the fuck, right? Like, it blows my mind. I try and work on it, and I'm like, I'm not touching this.
Dude, what?
That's so what like, is it? 09?
Oh, is it 09?
Okay, 10.
I didn't even know that they were still, I guess they were selling Chevy Aveos in 09.
Yeah.
And it's a hatchback?
It is, yeah. And if you look on the Carfax, the reason I bought it, I was like, man, this has excellent service history.
Oh, but the
engine overhaul 10,000 miles ago, head gaskets, timing belt, wheel, everything. Like everything is not a place on it. Service is a fucking ton. Yeah. Yeah. And so I got tricked into that one. And now everyone's telling me it's a BCM, everywhere I read. But most of the people who work on the Aveos, they're in like Thailand, they're in South America. And like just finding those people and like, you can't really.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, I'm pretty sure, talking out of the side of my mouth here, but I'm pretty sure the Aveo was like a car made for other markets.
It was.
They were like, hey, we can, sell a handful of these in the States. And yeah, that's rough.
Hopefully we'll sell it soon. But I don't know. Apparently they're trying to start bringing over. I mean, hopefully it works out like the Kia key trucks, like the tiny.
Oh, people are importing those.
No, the new ones. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so reading about it about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, where Trump was talking about passing something where they can bring over like Toyota pickups again, like the small ones, like 20, 25 grand, Toyota pickup trucks. And I actually think that'd be awesome. Well, I would love to have one of those.
Oh, dude, that would fuck up the whole market. I mean, like in a good way.
I think it would ruin a lot of domestic product, like Ford, GM, Stellantis. I think all of these people would be fucked from that.
Oh, don't worry. They will fucking make sure that it doesn't happen. Because that's the way our political
But that's the thing. I feel like there is a way for them to do stuff like that, maybe more affordable new cars. I know there's still some...
So, like, my understanding, I watched a video a while ago about how the CAFE standards, like, unintentionally, and this is like a bad policy thing that could easily be fixed, but unintentionally, the way that the standards are written, it's like something about like wheelbase.
Yeah.
Makes it so that it pretty much like de-incentivizes building small pickups for manufacturers. Because like once it's a certain size, it needs to like achieve a certain fuel economy. And like it's very difficult to get a truck to do that.
Check all the boxes to
check all of that. Yeah. So like it's more favorable for them to build larger cars to meet that demand than to build smaller ones. Because the larger ones have less stringent fuel economy standards.
Yeah.
So like really this could be fixed with policy. Like someone who gives a shit could go, oh, all right, hey, like there's obviously this huge demand for this. We need to create a carve out in this policy to allow, our manufacturers to build these things and still make it like, good, like not totally shitty for the environment. Because like without a doubt, it is better for people to buy a small pickup that burns less fuel than a fucking F-150 or whatever the fuck it is that is still reasonably fuel efficient. But,
Yeah, we'll see. I'm hopeful for it. But even we had the weird time in the 90s where like the Ford Ranger EV, the S10 EV.
You mean early 2000s?
That was like so I think the S10 EV was 96 or 95.
No fucking way.
Yeah. And then I know because that was like a weird era, but all those cars were what, like 40-mile range, maybe.
Yeah, the battery tech was just not
horrible. But I don't know. I feel like maybe they've tried to dig into that market a little bit. Small pickup market.
I think like small electric pickup like is a whatever slate pickup that
I don't know if that's gonna do too good. I don't know what you think about it.
I think it like scratches the edge that everyone has for small pickup, like because no OEMs are selling them in the United States.
Yeah. I just feel like a lot of the EV startups, people have been scared about. I know Rivian's doing good.
I don't know if they're actually making money.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
I see a lot of their cars on the road, but yeah, they might not be burning a margin, turning a profit on it.
At least the backer, like the backer's fucking Bezos, isn't it?
On Rivian?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know.
I thought it was.
Because I know brand new ones, they're like $100,000, I think, maybe 80.
They're really nice. Well, they're really, really nice cars that are over-engineered, is my understanding. And then, like, I would buy one of those, but I'm not worried about Rivian going insolvent. Because...
Oh, sure.
Because it's fucking backed by Bezos. And if it was, like, some of these other smaller, like, I think Slate is backed by Bezos, too.
If that's the case, maybe it'll turn out to be great. I just know, like, even, what's the other one? They did just cars. Lucid was another one
known by Saudis.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think that's right. Yeah. I think the Saudis have control. So they also have, like, the infinite money to keep it going. But also, like, I don't want to give the Saudis any money. Fuck it. So I'm going to buy those stuff.
Yeah.
But
if Slate takes on, maybe that's a good option to add because I know it's pretty customizable. I looked at their website.
It's like very like gimmicky in my opinion.
That's the only thing that maybe pushed me away from it is like part of it almost seems too good to be true at the same point. Like the price point for it, I think the range.
If they end up selling a shitload of those things, like they will crush as used cars.
Yeah.
Like if I could, like if like 10 years from now I can sell like used Slates for like 15 or 17 grand, like I will fucking sell the shit out of those. At least that's what I mean. Like, what? Because they have like 150 or 200 miles. Like, that's plenty of range.
Yeah, that's
for each person.
yeah.
So you just drive around and do what they need to do, and then it's a cute little pickup. Like, yeah, I think they'll crush his used cars. It's just, can they sell them new?
That's what we'll have to wait and find out. I don't know when they plan on launching them. I know it's been in the works for a while.
Yeah, they're always like out to launch with every fucking startup.
I feel like it's also going to be affected by the federal and state EV tax credit. Now that maybe that's not there, because I think Rivian and Tesla, they do that too, where like your purchase price has all of that included.
Yes,
and numbers are easier for them to run.
Didn't all that evaporate?
It's gone. Yeah,
it's all gone. Okay. Yeah. So now it's just up to real like market forces, which is probably good. But
yeah, speaking about trucks, so you really don't do. I saw an F-150 out there, but I think that might be that's Chaz.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't really do any trucks. Very rare.
Hardly ever.
Yeah.
Hang on one sec. Hey, dude, what's up? No. He was saying that someone's gonna come in, drop off the key, pick up the key.
Oh,
I'm like, don't worry about it. But hasn't the little dinger gone off?
I think so.
But that could have just been them coming and going. Well, yeah, that could have been Ryan coming and going. Pretty much downstairs has just been unlocked.
You know, speaking about that, because I was actually thinking, I was talking to the truck people down the street. Have you ever dealt with
down the street?
Oh, yeah. Have you ever dealt with like scammers or anything like that? You never done with.
We get like stupid attempts. I think like the scammers kind of ignore car dealerships because
really,
it seems like you get a lot more scammers private party.
That could be, because I was talking to I don't want to say his name because I think they're going through some sort of court thing right now. And it was interesting because he was telling me they bought a Washington title truck from CarMax and Clackamas.
Okay.
And they didn't get the title in time. I think they sold the truck within like 7 or 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came down to it, they had to unwind the deal because they found out that before the guy traded it into CarMax, he pulled out a loan on the truck. And then in Washington, he was able to go do a same-day title.
Okay.
And then he took it to CarMax, sold it, so he got like double the money for it.
He got in on it twice.
He cashed out on the truck twice, and then now there's like, federal government is involved because all of his documents were fake. Like Ed, like his ID, social.
Oh, and like, the ID thing, since like I think Patriot Act makes like having a fake ID like a pretty fucking serious offense.
Yeah, like the guy is essentially a ghost. Like it wasn't his real name, but he had a title in it.
And then how did he cash a check that wasn't written out to him?
That's the whole thing, because I have watched a few of like the podcasters where they talk about crime. And I do wonder if like that is pretty prominent, but maybe it's in higher dollar units, like 30, 40,000.
I mean, I guess if it was an illegal, because like you could be an illegal guy, get your face so set up your bank account, cash the check,
But that's the whole thing to me is where did you get a bank account from? How did you buy the truck and get a loan?
A lot of illegals get banked, right?
Oh, I guess maybe it's not that complex. I know.
I mean, I feel like if an illegal immigrant can come in here and get a fake SOG, what's stopping me from coming in here and getting the fake SOG?
Oh, definitely. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about like how did the system, or how did that process go down before he got the truck? Like it seems like such a, like it must have been going on for a long time.
What do you mean?
Like as in, like who knows how many times he's done this under all of these fake names. I don't think he was just planning to do just one truck, right? I was thinking, he might have a ton of different like that.
But the thing is, like, if he's been doing this for a while, I'd imagine that like CarMax would like
flag him somehow,
or at least be like, oh hey, if you get a same day title from Washington, like, fucking don't pay for that shit right away.
They're so weird to deal with. I don't know if you've dealt with them much.
I bought some cars from them.
I think that's the only option I've been to where it's cash.
Oh, is it cash?
They prefer cash.
Huh.
And I know most auctions, I think they want direct deposit checks. But no, I was curious if you've ever dealt with something like that, like some scammer story. I know I've dealt with crazy people with the cheap pots, like selling from someone else's name or whatever. I know you've been, it with your people have tried to take advantage of your mechanic shop before. I think you showed me a review a while ago where, a guy was complaining about like a fluid change and
Oh, that guy was like,
that was years.
it was like low key, like trying to like extort us. It was like, it was just like, hey, like the car had a problem that like he wasn't aware of, and we gave the car back to him. And we're like, hey, by the way, it has this problem. They're like, didn't have this problem when I gave it to you. I'm like,
Oh my God.
it's like, I was like, no, you didn't break your car, man. He's like, well, I'm gonna write a bad review if you don't fix it. And I'm like, all right, write a bad review, buddy. Like, fuck
Yeah.
I think that's what that was.
I think so, but I just feel like maybe it's not, maybe like some dealerships are a little bit looser with the people they deal with. But it's hard to really tell because that's like a big mistake even on car mats. Then.
I mean, you can see how that would totally fool. I mean, that seems like, yeah, how can you safeguard against that besides knowing that it's something that happens?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the only thing. I mean, we could easily get fucked that way. I feel like.
But I don't think that really comes down to you, though. It comes down to whoever you bought the car from. I think auction would be more responsible for it.
Oh, if I bought the car from auction, yeah, I'm just saying, if I bought the car off the street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is why, I mean, we do have, at least for Oregon cars, we have, can't remember what it's called, but we have this thing on Oregon cars where we can pull up like ownership records according to DMV.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, if we're literally like telling the public like how to do crime with cars, maybe we shouldn't, but whatever. Like if you go and apply for a lost title on a car that you actually have the title for, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would show when I look up the car, I'd be able to see
there's a lost title.
There's a duplicate title in the cover. So I'd be like, oh, okay, red flag. Maybe not necessarily. I mean, people just lose the title. So like, this could just be a totally normal thing. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you apply for a lost title, now you've got two titles. You go get a loan on one from wherever, and then you take the car and then you sell it to me with the other title, and I write you a check for it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you cash out twice on it.
But, I mean, the thing is, like, you need to evaporate after that.
Yeah, that's the thing that honestly was intriguing for me to hear about that, because not that I want to scam anybody, but it's like very interesting how much you wonder how that person's identity is like gone. Maybe that's me. Maybe I'm like crazy being interested in that. Well, but it's like they're never a real person, maybe ever.
Well, I mean, if you can somehow convince a dealer to pay you in cash in that situation,
yeah,
then, like, I guess the bank is going to write you a check, though.
Yeah, and I don't think you could just cash that. I mean, maybe after a day or two.
No, that's the thing. So that is, I think, and depending on how the law breaks down, either you or the bank is getting fucked.
Yeah, well, I do know. So when Marinas was doing, secretary work for landscaping company in Salem, they dealt with a lot of illegals, and getting a social security card was like so easy. Fake identity.
Oh yeah,
social. And I know they have the check cashing places. They charge a percent, but I don't think you can get more than like $2,000 a day, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's just something where like maybe they've had that scam going for a long time, and they're bouncing around state to state. And
well, here's the other thing: is it like an arrestable offense?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
because there's a guy was listening to him on YouTube, and he said he would go and he would talk to homeless people. And he would be like, hey, if I give you, $200 and you go get drugs, go to like the IRS, go to Social Security, and have them all send your information to this address. And he would get like all of their documents. He would create a credit portfolio for them. And then he would take out lines of credit in their name, credit cards, max everything out. And then he would just, bounce on to the next one.
I feel like it'd be I mean, okay, that sounds like it would work, but I feel like you're going to do
I
it.
think this was like 25 or 30 years.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, most of these homeless people, their credit, I'm sure, just already fucked.
Funny or non-existent, yeah.
Well, non-existent, I think, would be better than fucked because you could get a baby credit card for like $500.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work for $500.
It is, yeah. No, they would like, he was talking about building their credit, you know, going through a cycle of like just doing this and...
Hey, what's up? No, you're good. Yeah, there we go.
Welcome back.
Um,
What about crazy customers? Have you had any?
I mean, I definitely, I don't, dude,
You don't do crazy. You don't.
dude, I fucking hate it. Like, if I get a sniff of crazy, I will try to like passive, like Ryan doesn't do this. Ryan will be like, whatever, I'm going to sell a car, which blows me.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, because like, personally, like, if I'm selling cars and I catch a sniff of crazy on somebody, I will like passively get rid of them if I can.
Sure.
Which is like, I'll just kind of give them answers that they don't want to hear without being like confrontational. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that they just go, oh, and just leave. Like, that's what I try to do. But Ryan will like write it out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he wants to sell a car. I don't.
Yeah, and like I tell him all the time, like if someone's a pain in the ass, do not sell them a car. Like and he's like, whatever, dude. I'm like, no, not whatever. Like, I don't want to sell cars to people that are not nice or just annoying or whatever it is. Like, I mean, obviously, like, annoying customers are annoying customers, but at least like they're not like, personality disorders. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Like, if I catch a hint of like bipolar or what's the other one? I think like it's actually been, what is it? A borderline.
Yeah.
Although like I think borderline, they've kind of decided that it isn't really a thing anymore. It's like some other thing. But anyways, if I catch a whiff of some like legit crazy, like I'm like, but.
So that is one thing where I'm like trying to, now that I feel like my wheel is turning better, I'm trying to do the same thing. Because a lot of the time you just don't want to deal with them after you sell the car.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Like I remember one of the first times that it was like a Nissan Quest, and it was like a single mom of 4 or 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought the car from like a repo auction, like a tow yard. And she was driving down the road. They bought the car. I filed the title, fixed a bunch of things on it. I mean, it was a good car.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like Marius was jealous. She was out there, and this like 38-year-old mom was flirting with me, being like, oh, thank you so much.
Oh, that's so great. So
and yeah, we got back inside, and Marius was like, that fucking bitch. And I was like, I get it, but I need to sell the car. And I remember she called me like 5 minutes after she left. And she was like, the lights are flickering, the door came open, like, all of this weird shit going on. I drive down the road, and like, she pushed the little button that opens the sliding door. She was going down like the highway. And just all sorts of weird shit. And it turned into like, this lady was calling me every fucking day. Like every day was something, or like, one day she just called me to be like, my kids left the DVD system. And it's like, I don't want to deal with this shit. That's just really fucking weird. Like, you see a ring on my finger, and
so, well, is it just because she's crazy, or is it because she's like making an excuse to talk to you?
I think she was a little bit crazy, and I think it was a little bit, yeah, because she had her friend with her, and the friend seemed pretty normal. But this lady was fucking cuckoo. And then when I was like, hey, I can't be like, I sold you the car, like I'm married, I can't be talking to you, that's when it was like all hell broke loose.
Oh, that's when she went like,
and that's when she went like fucking crazy. Yeah. And I was like, all right, that's what it is. But I had dealt with a lot of crazy. We had the Honda Pilot situation.
I don't think you told me about this.
So older lady, Shannon, if you're watching, saying hi. She came by. We sold this car about 2 years ago. Honda Pilot. We put a timing belt in it, water pump. She was telling us, so she came by one day, she spent maybe 5 hours with us.
Jesus.
Just going through the car. She came back a couple of days later to like take pictures, and she lived at the coast. She was in Gearhart.
Okay.
And she was like, I have a Honda Pilot. It was hit in total. What I want to do is take my Honda Pilot to Les Schwab, swap my wheels and tires onto your Honda Pilot, and then the insurance company is going to come and pick up my Pilot from Les Schwab and total it out.
Okay.
And then that was normal. Like, that was reasonable.
That's the normal.
And then,
like, that's something you do after you buy the other one.
yeah, and that's part of it where, exactly, and that's part of it for me. It was like jumping through too many hoops to get a sale in when the red flag should have just sort of started popping.
Oh, she was like, we need to do this before I buy the car?
Yeah. So I didn't even get paid yet. She wanted us to meet at Les Schwab, do everything. I had her sign it as is. She knew that I put a timing belt in it. And it never struck me until down the road, but she was telling me a story. She bought a car from, I think it was Kia Seattle or a Hyundai dealer.
Okay.
And she bought a car from them, and magically after 500 miles, the timing belt snapped. And they were able to put her in a different, newer car. I think they just didn't want the trouble with it, and it happened again. Timing belt snapped on her second car that she bought. And
how did you find out that this happened?
She was telling it to me. But to me, I'm like, I'm not going to think much of it.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because stuff happens. And I was just in it for money at that point. Like, I think I was more trusting. I was, more like I could accept, because we also spent like 10 hours together.
Sure.
Like she brought her dogs over. We were hanging out. She seemed like a sweet old lady.
Okay.
And fast forward, about a week later, she texts me and she's like, hey, the car's making a weird noise. And I told her, I said, take it to a shop and get it checked out right away. And out of nowhere, she sends me pictures and the car's at a mechanic shop, and it's the timing belt just split in two. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what? Like, I don't really think that just happens. I don't think that a timing belt will just have a clean cut right through it.
Hello, like literally, no, that's not how they fail.
Exactly. You would think it would be like tensure fails, belt shreds everywhere. There's, the
it's gonna like what it's gonna like tear. Like if it's breaking from like, it's not just gonna like, yeah, exactly. There's not gonna be a clean cut.
Yeah, and she was like, you told me you put a timing belt in it. I'm dropping this car back off at you, and we had him take it to. This was when I wasn't doing that much mechanical repair. She took it to the mechanic shop that we worked with, and she was there every single day, calling me every day. She ended up calling the DA on me, trying to take me to court for it. And it's just one of those things where two mechanics looked at it and they both said, like, this isn't normal. But it's that sort of crazy shit where it's like, I'm trying to stay away from.
And yeah, so this lady was buying cars, cutting the timing belt, and then getting them back.
Fucking crazy. Just like absolutely crazy. And then when we looked up her name, which now I do that more frequently if I get a little weird vibe from somebody, I'll do like a Google search on them, see if anything weird is going on. And she's then sued by Lane County, the county at Oregon Coast, like all sorts of stuff. She does all this funny business type of shit. And I feel like those customers, they're out there. But now I'm trying to like really get a feel for it and just fire the customer before I can deal with them. Like even yesterday, I had somebody text me on a Ford Focus that I do really well on, even though you don't like them that much. And they were like, hey, meet me at Milwaukee Expressway. And like, now I'm trying to feel that out a little bit more. And I was like, you know what? The way you're texting me and coming across, I just sort of don't want to go out there. Yeah, you can come over here. But that's part of it. And then just people are like pretty degenerate too, buying cars. I don't know if it's like, maybe I attract degeneracy. I don't really know.
Well, you do buy and sell everything on Facebook, right?
I do. Yeah.
So, I mean, Facebook is like the dregs of the internet.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It'll be like a guy will message me for like a '06 Subaru and be like, I'll give you 2 years to my girlfriend's OnlyFans. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, where are you pulling this up from?
Yeah.
But I mean, I've told you the guy asking to get her anus pregnant. That was a good one. The guy on the run from the cops.
Oh, I don't remember the guy on the run from the cops.
I had a Kia. No, it was like an old Hyundai, like a GS. Or 100.
That's the one thing. It's like an Acura TL, but it's a Hyundai.
Yeah, and it's got like the circle headlights. It's sort of like it's class sedan.
It's like trying to be. Yeah. I know exactly the car.
Yeah, and we drove out to North Portland to meet this guy, and we're talking, and it doesn't have plates or tags. You know, a lot of the cars that I sell don't, but they do have DEQ. And then the guy didn't have any money, he had everything on Chime, which is like a online banking. He was like, man, I got like, it was like, my brother, I got $3,000 on Chime. If you can get on Chime, I'll pay you the asking price for the car. So I'm like downloading Chime and everything lot, and the deal goes through, and then he realizes the car doesn't have plates, and he gets really mad because like everything's already had it. And I told him, I was like, well, it's in the pictures, like, you know, you signed all the documents. Your Chime is in my Chime account. And
Your Chime is
yeah, and the guy, he's just invisibly angry. He was like, I was like, dude, just go to DMV. Like, I have DEQ pass, just go to DMV. He was like, I can't risk getting pulled over. And I was like, you're not going to get pulled over. Like, DMV is right down the road. He was like, I don't think you get it, brother. I can't risk getting pulled over. And that's when it clicked, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's way to walk to DMV then.
Yeah, what? Exactly. You have all the paperwork.
And take a bus. I don't know.
But, man, that's the thing. I do sort of hate dealing with people like that, but I love it at the same time.
Oh, it's like, it's interesting. Also, like, was that all part, like, did he do that on purpose? It's like, that's the other thing that comes to mind. It's like, okay, first off, it's insane you get, like, mad about something like that.
No, and that's the thing.
But like, second, like, it's like, so either way, he's a Looney Tune. But like, so if he's like getting mad at you for not including DMV, one, like, literally, you did nothing to indicate that this car came with with title and tags and whatnot, or new title. And
well, it's even on a purchase agreement.
It's even on a purchase agreement. Like, hey, this doesn't include this shit. But like, so he's a Looney Tune if he just thinks. But then the other part of it is like, oh, I'm gonna pretend like I didn't notice, and I'm gonna get mad afterwards and see if they fold and just give me money back, so that I can get, so that I can get more stuff.
Maybe that's
part of like, it's one or the other. Either one is fun. I guess it doesn't really matter.
Maybe it's some weird negotiation tactic.
That's what I'm saying.
I ate my asking price when he could have just done like, hey, can you knock off $200? And I would have been fine, right? It would have been, yeah, why not? But I do think the dealing with the crazy people makes it a little bit more fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love dealing with like customers who are just enjoyable and none of that. Like, that's the kind of crazy that's like, okay, but like dealing with a lady who vandalizes a car, that's completely different.
Yeah. So did you just tell her to kick her ass?
Man, I told her, no, I was actually being really, really fair. I told her I would pay for, it's an interference engine.
Yeah.
I told her I would buy her new heads, a new timing belt kit, and we would figure out what we can do on labor. She wanted a new engine or for me to buy the car back and then give her extra for the wheels.
So then at that point, did you tell her to kick her ass?
I did. I did tell her, I was like, hey, let's meet at the mechanic shop together. We can go through everything, sit down, have a game plan. And then she ghosted me and disappeared for like 3 days. And then she showed up at the mechanic shop and started calling me when she was there.
Oh,
and it's like, I can't just get up and like drop whatever I'm doing and go satisfy your needs.
Yeah.
But that's probably the craziest person I've dealt with.
Yeah, that's
stressful. More than anything, like the financial stress of like, okay, what is going on? And then my phone blowing up. Am I gonna have to put an engine in this? Or are you going crazy?
Yeah.
Are you gonna show up at my house and not leave? So a lot of that. We had the Yogi Bears, we had a group of gypsies. You'll have to blur that out on the camera. And that was the one where it was like these Romanian dudes showed up, and there were probably like 7 of them. And Marina always goes out and she shows the cars with me, but with these ones, we were parked by the orchard up top. And she got uncomfortable from being around all these dudes that she just went back inside.
Mm-hmm.
And That was the one where one of the guys, you know, like it's so hard to keep track of them when there's like literally every panel one of them's looking at. So like one's in the door, one's in the trunk, one's in the hood. And he pulled me around to the trunk saying that there was frame damage there. And I told him nothing was there, and we decided to go on a test drive, and the thing is just smoking like it blew a head gasket. And I'm still curious what they put in it, if they put something in the gas tank, or the engine. And it was like when we were on the test drive, it was smoking really bad, and we hadn't been having a good month, so it was pretty disheartening. I thought the engine blew. And I was asking second brand for it. It was a 2011 Camry. Mm-hmm. And when we got back, they were like, "I'll buy it, but for $2,000 or $2,500, something like that, because they'll have to put an engine in it, and it's going to cost a lot of money." And I told them to get lost, and you know, I was emotional, so they eventually left after a while, and I took the car down, and the coolant reservoir was full of oil. I don't know how they happened to, you know, do like a sleight of hand and distract me. But I don't believe that. I just don't know. Did they put something in the gas tank
to make it smoke like that?
Right. And that was did they put something in the engine? Did they overfill it with oil so it would smoke? And that's why I don't get.
There's places you could put some oil that would go into the engine and cause it to burn off.
Well, that's the only other thing. Was it seafoam? Did they?
Yeah, I don't know.
And to me, it was like dealing with that kind of stuff. And eventually I did figure out, I drained the coolant, went through the engine completely, and the car was fine. But and Nabi sent me an article maybe a couple months ago, and it was where like an old man sold his truck to a couple of people like that. And he sold it really cheap because he thought the engine blew up on him. And it's bad because I do think car dealers get more of a bad reputation when the private doesn't actually see a lot of stuff that they go through as well.
I think people are starting to realize that it's way more dangerous to sell a car or buy a car privately from a dealer.
Well, it's like we bought you, at the start of the pandemic, we bought you the little big Infinity, the SUV.
Do you remember? It was like a QX80,
and it had high miles on it, but we thought we were really safe in it, and
it was like 120K or something.
Yeah, and we were talking to the family. We hung out with them for a few hours, and we thought we were buddies. And then you called me, and you're like, "It needs a catalytic converter." Like, it had all sorts of.
It's not a transmission.
I think, yeah, it had like tons of issues, and check engine lights pop up. And at least with
something, you went and dumped it somewhere.
I did. Yeah, I think Andrew bought it. Yeah. Fun. But even with that, I mean, I think that time of the market, everyone was making money. Like, at least the point in time where like the private wasn't catching up to the retail market.
Yes.
Because books were just going crazy all the time.
Oh, well, yeah. Like, if you owned this car and, like, you know, you booked it out 6 months ago and it was a chemical said it's worth $4,000. You're going, oh, okay, my car's probably still worth $4,000. Yeah. You're not going to book it out again.
Yeah.
You will, but like, you probably won't. So then you advertise it for $4,000, but little do you know, the car's worth $7,000 now.
Yeah. In some cases, even more.
In some cases, even more. So someone comes in, snaps it up, and flips it.
Because I feel like we were buying a lot of cars around that 10 to 15 grand mark.
Yeah.
And that was a great time in the market.
Well, I've told this story too many damn times, but I'll say it again. Like, everything was broken during COVID because, like, no one was trading in a car unless it was fucking broken. I mean, not no one, but pretty much nobody. You know, it's like, if you were getting rid of a car instead of it was broken because you didn't want to have to buy a car because cars were freaking expensive, like the latter half of COVID.
Yeah.
So, like, pretty much I'd buy something. I feel like I paid a little bit too much for it, but then everything had to get fixed on the job, and then parts were hard to get and all this stuff. So, like, it would take a month to get it through reconditioning. You know, 2 weeks in the shop, a week getting the bumper painted, detail, upholstery, you know, whatever little bits. But like, it takes a month to get it from A to Z in terms of reconditioning. By the time I'm done reconditioning it, the value's gone up on it like $1,000 or $2,000. And I'm like, oh, wow, I'm in this car actually way better than I thought I was, even though I spent more money than I thought I would on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that shit was insane.
Now I feel like prices are coming back to earth, though. I don't know if it seems like that to you, but maybe the cheap stuff.
It's all over the place. It's like, I think what it is that if you've got like, it's like oddball stuff, like stuff that not everyone wants.
Yeah.
You can buy reasonably, but like the stuff that everyone wants is still expensive. Like,
Okay.
Toyota 4Runners, always expensive, probably more expensive than they were a year ago. I don't know. I don't keep track, but they definitely haven't gotten cheaper. Maybe they have. Maybe, I don't know. But like, they haven't, if they've gotten cheaper, it's not enough for me to notice.
Yeah.
Toyota 4Runners, RAV4, pretty much just fucking Toyotas in general. Toyotas in general, like, Lexuses, but like, I feel like, yeah, just like everything else is depreciated. Probably, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. All of my cars, they've been and everything's dialed in. Everything's good. They're clean. Nothing major. And I feel like, I'm almost giving them away and there's still no leads. I don't know. Maybe it's, cash buyers, Christmas. Maybe a lot of people already bought the cars for their kids and hopefully it's in September.
Well, I mean, it's also just December.
It's always slow, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you pretty much like, if you have kids, they're on vacation for a week. At least, like Penny had like 10 days off of school last month.
Yeah.
So like,
and then sure,
like another person, that means that you have less time to do the other things.
Yeah. And then I know December you have like, I think when we were in school, it was what, 2 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah. So like, it's kind of, if you're used to being able to like have your kid at school while you're at work, well, then like now you've got to, it's like, it just adds another layer of stuff where it's just like, okay, I don't have time to go buy a car.
Yeah.
Because your kid's them. So, I mean, I think
I wonder if a lot of dealers are going to pull through it. Like the guy across the street collapsed.
Oh, no. Oh, across the street from me.
Yeah.
That guy was on his way out.
I feel like there's a lot of old...
For a long time. Like, he held on longer than he should.
Do you think so?
For sure. I mean, because, like, I'd see their inventory just never change.
Yeah.
For a long fucking time. I mean, I'd see the kind of stuff that he buys at auction. And it's just like, okay. And then I'd see him, like, I'd literally be like, I'd check out a car, figure out that something's fucked up with it. Then I'd end up watching him buy it, pay too much money for it. And then I get back here, and I'm looking across the street, he's already photoing it and putting it up for sale. So it's just like, oh, okay, that's the recipe to fucking lose. Because, like,
and everything was floored, right?
Yeah, and I believe everything was floored.
Yeah.
So, like, your cost on every unit goes up $300-$400 a month minimum. So, yeah, I mean, like,
damn.
Dude,
I want some cars. You're just under, though.
Yeah.
Next year, sell stuff so cheap compared to what I think it's worth.
Well, and then they're going to, whatever the balance is, they're just going to go after him for it.
Yeah.
And I think the guy has assets, so
they're safe.
Yeah, so they're safe. That's probably part of the reason they didn't give a shit. If they thought that they couldn't get the money out of him, they probably would have
wanted blood for everything.
They would have like held on to everything and tried to squeeze every last drop. But when they know that you've got assets and they come after you for them,
yeah, because I bought a Yukon from the car that I really wanted. It was like a old Suburban or Tahoe. It was like the barn door.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah,
and it was on OVE for like $200. I was like, oh, I can't be, I don't even want to deal with it. And then I looked up what they're worth, and some of them are like 10 to 15 grand.
Just because it has fucking barn doors on it?
I guess these old Suburbans, like the half ton or whatever, people are going crazy for them. I don't know why. I don't know if maybe it's like the people are really liking the 90s SUVs.
I mean, they're cool.
They are, but I don't think it's 10 grand cool. I mean, because I sold like an '05 Tahoe for like $7.
That's a newer body style then. Okay, yeah.
I mean, I think the old ones from the 90s are cooler looking, and the
bossier ones are
they're cool. I think they're pretty gangster looking. But I don't know. Maybe I'm sleeping on the domestic SUV problem.
Well, I feel like if you're like it's kind of a similar thing as like the people that are obsessed with like old Land Cruisers and 4Runners. Yeah. Like the parts are reasonably cheap, they're easy to work on, and on top of that, they don't break very often. The Chevys they break, but the parts are cheap and they're easy to work on.
Well, I think the biggest thing is what the transmissions, the 4L60.
I don't think those are bad.
Really?
I mean, I think probably in a truck they're bad, but they did fine in cars.
Okay, yeah.
I think. I don't know.
I don't know. I barely deal with them. I'm just getting into it.
They're cheap though. I think you can get a crate transmission for fucking cheap.
Oh, you can. There's a guy who rebuilt them, and he's got, probably 10 or 20 of them at a time, and they're like 1,800 for newly rebuilt transmission.
Yeah, it's because the parts are so cheap. Yeah, I bet he's got $300-400 in parts in each one. You know what I'm saying? He only gets the cores for free, or close to it, and then puts $300-400 into it, and then I imagine. And then exactly. And I imagine if you rebuilt 10 of them, you can probably rebuild it really fucking fast.
Oh yeah.
So he's making good money on his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the only thing too. Like CVTs, I know you can rebuild them somewhat. Something it's just like a new belt. That's all you can rebuild.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like from I haven't found anyone that like
will touch a CVT.
I don't think so. Like, so far as I know, like I think that belt is probably really expensive too.
It could be.
It's like a steel mesh belt.
Yeah,
made out of like insanely like probably a really, really expensive alloy. Because like if you're thinking about like the work that it's doing.
Oh, how many rotations and
all the rotations and then all the heat and like just like how much pressure must be under, like, or not pressure, but tension.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like that's got to be like an insanely engineered piece right there. Like, I don't think that like some factory can just like open up and be like, oh yeah, we're going to start making CVT belts. But
yeah,
it's good. Yes, I don't imagine like that's
why it's like so much. When a CVT goes out, it's training stuff.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, like, so far as I know, maybe if you're in Japan and you're like, you can just go and get the part. Maybe you can get it that way. I'm just another call. Should we wrap this up?
Sure.
It's 1:00.
It's 1?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think. Yeah, it's 1.
Oh, that was the only thing. I had a Suzuki Kizashu. Have you ever seen one of those?
Yes.
And it has the CVT in it, all-wheel drive CVT. It was awesome. Like, I actually loved the way that car drove.
Okay.
But you could just, like, I felt not good driving it because I was like, one day I'm going to drive it. Like, CVT is going to blow up and where are you going to find a transmission to that?
Yeah.
Right. And a kid's grandpa bought it for him. And I was like, please get like an aftermarket warranty for it.
Yeah.
Please do that. And I think he did, but he still drives it today. But that was actually like a slept on car. It's really fun to drive. I don't know if you've ever had one.
No, never had one. I've seen them and been like, what is that? That's a weird car that like you'd never see.
Yeah.
But and like I've always kind of noticed like, oh, cool name. It's like very obviously Japanese.
Yeah.
Like it's like super, like I feel like they're banking on the Jack. Like it sounds like I don't know, it sounds like some like marinade shop. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, it's actually sweet. Yeah, something about like a DJ or something,
Yeah.
And like the styling is actually kind of fun.
It reminds me of like the back of it reminds me of like a WRX from like the sedans, like the 2012 or 4.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, and it handled really good. It was like a fun sports car that was economical. But I don't think I'll ever buy one again, unless it's like a manual transmission. I just don't want to touch a CVT car,
But I think some of them are fine.
Subis, yeah, and like. But a Suzuki,
it's probably, it might be solid. It might be that, I mean, who knows? Suzuki might have their CVTs contracted out of.
It's a Jetta though, so it's a Nissan one.
Oh,
yeah,
it's a Rebel then. I actually get this.
Sure.
And I do actually. Here, let's just we'll call this good.
Yeah.
I don't know the end of it. Bye.